Today we got a nice big stack of comics to go through. So do it. Got some fun ones in here. This one I believe was from Cyclotronic Squirt Guns claim sale. Bar Crawl of the Damned. This has a mad cracked feel to it, how they lay it out. You get the Hep and the Haunted or Ghost of the Beat Generation. And get a vampire character trying to figure out some stuff from his past and his history, and we get a fun little story about how he became a vampire, how he was like a beatnik before that, and sitting in a poetry bar type atmosphere, and a vampiric female comes up, and you can imagine what happens, and then you find out the history of the character's past. You get the history of the character's vampire, the what he's been like since he's been a vampire, and what's going on, and what he was like before. Kind of got this weird Where's Waldo type character that is his pre-vampiric form. But it was a fun story finding out about that character a little bit more. And then they have these Scully little single page fun things where there's a skull but put into different outfits to match whatever the theme is. The first one is Hamlet. They basically got the Danish prince, father's ghost, and you can get the idea how they just throw something new on the skull to make it look like one of the other characters. Then we got a date game, which is a parody on the dating game, and our main daters are Frankenstein, the Wolfman, and a skeleton. And our gal that they're trying to win the heart of is a parody of Vampirella. It's Vampiroony. Another fun little. There's the guys sitting on the three stools waiting for the questions to come through. Yeah. They did a good job with that. There's a little drunken rant section where you can see different cartoons about people that are drunk and what they're rattling on about. You got Scully Goes to the Movie. Of course, you got like Silent Movie with the weird rounded top hat. You got Cowboy Western movie and stuff because of the cowboy hat and the arrow. But we got Paperback Demons, where our vampire and werewolf characters find a spell book of sorts, and they want to try a summoning. But yeah, it's just when they do summon some demons, they're trying to get the demons to do their bidding, and the demons are like, do we still do that stuff? Do we still smite people and do those things anymore? They had to discuss that and try and figure it out and figure out where the book came from and all that. It was fun. We got The Adventures of Scully. Scully Goes to College. Another fun skull parody where he's shown in different aspects of a college student. And we got Mongo the Gorilla in The World of Dating. A nice little single page story there too. Yeah, this is well done. I definitely want to pick up some more if I see any of these. I don't know if this was just the only one they ever did. I haven't looked it up yet. But it's by Mortco, and it's a special, so it's a one-shot to start with. But I really enjoyed these characters, so hopefully they did some more books with these ones. I would definitely pick up more of those if I came across them. Oh yeah, and then it does have the cool wraparound cover. We got the ladies' night on the sign there, going with the Invisible Woman, the creature from the Black Lagoon, and all that, the different witches and stuff on the backside to go with the rest of the characters in the front. Nice little wraparound. Yeah, it was a good pick. very happy about that one. I was able to get, I believe these are all from this year, but 3 of the Trick or Read books, which they give out for free around Halloween. And this one is Fantastic Four. And we have a starts out basically where Ben Grimm's getting slingshotted from Mr. Fantastic through a portal into another dimension, another Earth, and it just so happens to be one where we have the Fantastic Four as dinosaur characters. Uh, it was fun how they crossed these characters all over together and stuff. Basically, the dinosaur Ben Grimm and the Ben Grimm that got shot across the space and time through the portals and stuff. They go off to try and deal with Doctor Doom with a idea that they have, and they do a good job on playing these different characters up and their different crossovers. Uh, Doctor Doom has his own dinosaur that he's working on, that he works with. I can't say working on, he works with that dinosaur, and then you can read about what happens with the whole crossover with all the different characters and what they do to try and fix the problems that Doctor Doom's causing. But I don't know, I was never a huge fan of Fantastic Four. I did enjoy this story. It's standalone by itself, but yet I could definitely see it going into possibly. It does say there is something else happening up down the road after this storyline, but the storyline, it does hold itself for this book. And then you also get a teaser in the back of the newer Fantastic Four story that's out there. So if you want to check that out, that's perfect. A perfect way to do it. Pick it up free and get the idea of what they're all about. See if you like the newer ones or not. Then we got Life with Archie, number 198. I was excited when I picked this one up. It's a little beat up and dirty, but not too bad. It's got some fixable parts to it. It looks like I could probably clean it up and stuff, but I picked it up because of the werewolf cover. And I'm guessing I read that werewolf story in another Archie style comic. They do like to reprint the stories a lot. It's probably one of the most reprinted comics out there, I would guess, just because of how many issues, how many side comics they brought out. Everything from the Little Archie, Life with Archie, Madhouse Comics, Sabrina, and there's just tons of different side comics that go with the Archie world. Superheroes, monsters, all kinds of fun things. But the gang have a van that they're just going out and about, just exploring, having some fun, and they end up going off road and kind of landing in a couple trees that end up kind of bowing and then restructuring themselves, and kind of bring the van down and set it down without the trees getting damaged and without the van getting damaged. So they find themselves in kind of an Amish world that just happens to be closed off from the rest of the world because something happened that closed them off in that area, and they decided to stay closed off from the rest of the world because they don't want to deal with all the rest of the world's problems. They like their community the way it is. Sorry, I keep yawning. I'm supposed to be copying comics. Got a couple sips into my coffee, a few comics in for review, and my computer hard drive ran out of memory, so I had to sit there and redo this for the third time. I like these because they have the old Twinkies advertisements, and these ones they're doing Josie with a karate story. Josie and the Pussycats are featured in that one, and then you got another single page story. They like to pick on fat people back in the day. But got a Fat Charlie baseball story, one pager in there. Then we jump back to our gang with the Amish community and stuff, and some kids that want to try and get out of the community and go with them. You get to see what happens when they try to escape and get away. We got, I believe it was Swag mentioned just the other day on his video that his maze was filled in. That's like the most common thing I see in these older Archie books and other books, Charlton's, Harvey, is if there's ever like a maze feature in the comic, the maze is usually inked out, which is fine with me. It's no big deal as long as they aren't cutting out things to order posters of Grizzly Adams and stuff. I remember all those back in the day. Then we get our Prowling Peril werewolf story based off the cover. And it just happens to be Jughead, who had something happen to him that ended up turning him into a werewolf. And you get to see what the gang does to deal with the werewolf Juggy. And we find out some stuff about a gypsy story and stuff with Jug to find out the history of everything that happens. But yeah, this is another fun one. I really like the Life with Archies. They're one of my favorites. Yeah, I can't show that. That would ruin it, even though you probably won't get your hands on this. But like I said, the werewolf story I know I've read, so that has to be in other issues. Probably a Halloween one for sure. And then we jump to the one I'm trying to get the full collection of first out of all the Archie comics is the Madhouse comics, because I had the one vampire cover with the ghoul kid that wanted her own dollhouse, but she wanted a haunted dollhouse. And I got all excited when I seen that comic and wanted to read the storyline, and that was the first Madhouse comic I picked up that I remember picking up. And anything that's on the cover is not in the book. So they show you stuff, but it's not in the issue that the cover has. Might be in some other issue or something. Don't know. But friend Kevin Wolf from Happy Wolf Art, you can catch him on Instagram and stuff. He took the cover and my idea and concept and stuff, and he made an actual short story out of it, made a little mini comic with it, and did a really fun job. I really enjoyed it. So you can always go on his Instagram and hit him up if you'd like to get a copy, if you want to buy a copy. He also has some other fun storylines, and he's also a German teacher. He's got one of his newer books that he just did within the past 6 months or so. He also did a German version, so you can actually learn to speak with German if you read that book and learn from it. But yeah, he does an awesome job with everything that I've seen him work on so far. He's also played with some of my other ideas. This again has the Josie Twinkie advertisement on there with the story, and this one's a leaving town one where she's got a crush on someone. Then we got Way to Go. Little Miss Muffet sat on Tuffet, eating her curds and whey, kind of a parody on that. But instead of a spider coming along, she has her evil stepmother that just won't let her drink any more of her whey. and she's wanting more. And this boy comes along, and he tries to help her out, and all kinds of things happen. Fun in that storyline how they did that. We got this one also has like single page stories bounced around in it. For example, we got a little skater story here going on. I'm not going to show those final panels. You got to get your own copy. Even though you're not going to find it, I'm not going to give you spoilers on stuff. Complete spoilers on stuff. Just tease you. You can get yourself a John Travolta portrait artwork. It's a grab bag special, so who knows what you're going to get. Each one has a poster. Yeah. Then the old Atlas body bully kicking sand in the scrawny kid's face at the beach. Always had those back then too. Then we got Right on Ralph, whereas this poor guy, someone comes across him that he's crossed paths with and had issues in the past. They have some magical powers or abilities, and they zap him to where everything he says and does happens and is correct. So he gets picked on for being a know-it-all, and then all kinds of things happen that make him feel useless, and no one likes him anymore because he's a know-it-all. And he does some things to fix that, and it's fun what they ended up pulling out with that one. We got Madhouse visits Monster Manor with a Mad Dr. Frankenfurter storyline where we get some fun little things happening to a variety of the monster characters. It's only a 2-pager, so I'm not going to show you the second page. But yeah, some things happen that affect some of our monsters, and they have some issues when they're traveling along, trying to stop a train and stuff like that. We got more about sports in Transylvania. This is a fun little play of different sports cartoons with Transylvania figures crossed over into it, like vampires, two-headed man, mummy, and werewolf. Yeah, Dear Aunt Abby section where people send some questions in and stuff. Then we got tips on how to make an impression on your first date. They have all kinds of fun little gimmicks up there for helping people with dating and seeing what can go right or wrong if you do certain things. And is that the last story in the book? It looks like that goes all the way through. Yeah. And they got more posters. You got the cone heads. And all the fun little gadgets you can pick up back in the day. Yeah, those are always interesting. Okay, and then this next one is Monsters Unleashed. I got 001, kind of like a teasers episode. Wrap around cover, the dragon, Fin Fang Foom, and some artwork. It's got some fancy shorts on in this one compared to the weird shorts he usually wears. But this gives you a teaser of what's going on with all the monsters attacking Earth, and our heroes are trying to find out why they're attacking, where they're coming from. You're seeing these meteors that are bombarding the planet, and every time a meteor lands, another kaiju-like creature appears. And we see a couple kids throughout here. We learn about, we're getting introduced. I also have issue 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the regular run. and we get introduced to Kid Kaiju and some of his monsters. And our heroes, while this is going on, are trying to figure out where these are all coming from. And it just so happens that Van Helsing, well, no, I'm not. I always mix her up with the Van Helsing. Elsa Bloodstone is the main monster hunter, but she's off dealing with smaller time monsters instead of the big giant kaiju style monsters. All this is happening, and she's trying to get that all squared away before she helps out and tries to figure out what's with the kaijus and everything. But she's the main one that does find out about Kid Kaiju and realizes he doesn't know what's all going on, and she gets him to come to where the rest of the superheroes are, and they try and figure out what they can do to deal with some of these demons, these kaiju demons that are coming through. And it's almost like a battle between Kid Kaiju and another kid with similar powers. But yeah, I really like the Kid Kaiju character because he can just sit there and take his art book, draw up whatever he wants, and when he does, those creatures can appear. He can sit there and morph other. He can take current creatures, redraw them, and here's a good example of the creature meteors falling from the sky into the cities all over the world. He can sit there and, well, a good example, I guess, would be Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur are out in space and realize what's going on. They're trying to figure out what's happening with it, and then all of a sudden he draws Devil Dinosaur, and Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur get teleported to an area near the other superheroes and stuff, and Kid Kaiju, and then she starts working with them, and they're trying to figure some things out. But then you see that he's able to move Devil Dinosaur around if need be, move other kaijus around, because characters like Fin Fang Foom and that, some of the evil biggies from back in the day, there's Fin Fang Foom there, from our Marvel storylines. They, instead of coming to fight all the superheroes, are coming to save the planet and take care of some of these kaijus themselves. That's a good thing because our superheroes are having lots of problems with some of these big baddies that they're dealing with. There's Devil Dinosaur there. But yeah, I love how they brought Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur in to work with the team, and how Elsa hunted down Kid Kaiju and got him to work with the team, and brought his parents and stuff into it. And we get to learn more about him and get to see him really work his powers. And I really enjoyed this run. I felt that I had it, but I think what I was doing when I found out that it was longer running than I planned it, that I was gonna just wait and get the trade down the road. But I believe it was Psychotronic Squirt Guns claim sale or Cheap Comic Collectors claim sale, but I'm pretty sure it was Aaron's, that I picked up all the Monsters Unleashed. But I could be wrong. I probably got them from Rob. Oh well, they used to work together on Mondays and stuff, so that's why. Who knows where I got the stuff half the time. Anthony from our Crimson Skull Comic Club picked up this one for me. I believe he picked it up at Chronicon, Kevin Smith's Chronicon. But we got Rubber Wolf, Make Comics Weird Again. That must be a sticker. But we got from Rubber Wolf Comics, we got Randy Tucker, Special Edition, Bomb Dude. It's definitely an 80s video game style parody. Not video game, but the 80s martial arts and game, just all that world kind of like mashed together and put in a strange little character type storyline. There's a little play on the what you call it, kids, Garbage Pail Kids, the Randy character on there. But yeah, 1986. Mysterious dark forces have invaded a small working class neighborhood in southeastern Michigan. Bizarre black magic rites have turned all the popular kids in school into terrifying monster guys. Now, the only hope for humanity lies in the remaining outcast, the freaks, geeks, nerds, punks, art, I'm not going to say that, and burnouts have banded together as the last line of defense against evil. Together they fight under the leadership of the mightiest bomb dude on Earth, Randy Tucker. 1988. Nearly 2 years have gone by, and the demonic invasion has spread throughout the area. Randy Tucker continues to wage this one-man war against evil. This was, kind of slow, nothing too exciting, but you get that play of that just goofy character going out trying to save the world with all these strange demons that have appeared. And yeah, it's very beat 'em up, smash and go type storylines. Oops, didn't realize there was some language on that one. But yeah, he gets into all kinds of trouble with creatures in here, dealing with them, and he pretty much just goes through kicking their butts. It is alright. Ain't nothing that I'd go out and get. It's special edition, I see. But yeah, it's doubt if I'd read anything about that character again in the future. But it was something to check out. Glad I did. We got The Raven's Macabre, Volume 3, from Corey Bird at Bird's Eye View Comics. If you want to get your copies, I've been backing these and picking them up. This is the third volume now. He's already working on some of his other comics, his cat manga and stuff. I really like those. Everything I've picked up of Corey so far has been really enjoyable. And he's introduced me to some people that are also underneath his publishing company that I got some stuff coming from. I actually got one thing already and then another thing on its way. I'm looking forward to checking out. Lots of humanimals type storylines. A bleak and sinister time to come. A grave that cannot hold a soul of revenge. And a monarch called Absolute Judgment. The raven watches, and darkness will descend upon all. But these are nice little, I think it's 3 short stories per book. Chapter 1's Taxi Ride by Tony Prince. Chapter 2 is The Nest Story by Patrick Hickey Jr. and Corey Bird. And Chapter 3 is A Guest for the King, story by Lanier Burton. Got pencils by Ryan Vila and inks by Chris O'Connell. But yeah, they're fun, short, well, not necessarily fun, but short horror style stories. But they each run off. I like how he starts each, or maybe I'm wrong. I thought it started each of the stories with a Edgar Allan Poe quote but it might just be at the end of each story or just randomly. But they have little Edgar Allan Poe quote in each that kind of plays into each story. But yeah, I love the second story, The Nest, where you get the Ravens storyline about how the lore behind the crows and how they deal with people's souls, and you get a story where a person goes through some stuff and we find out why he's allowed to seek revenge or whatever. But yeah, these were really well done. Interesting storylines. The last one, Desperate King, we get like this being that appears and they have to deal with it and figure out why he's there and what's going on. But I like how the art styles are completely different in each one and how the stories unfold. But such short stories, you don't want to ruin them, but they do play off that Edgar Allan Poe style theme to the different stories and give you that little dark twist and turns throughout them. But another trick or read comic that we picked up was Spider Boy, the Webless Wonder. Been wanting to check out this character, see what's up with them, because they have like a Spider Boy and Kid Deadpool storyline coming out. But we see this Spider-Man and Spider-Boy working together in a bowling alley where this bowling pin-headed character happens to be there, causing all kinds of destruction with the bowling pin gun. The Pininator. They parody back and forth and stuff, which Spider characters like to do. Goof back and forth, but we find out that this Spider-Boy doesn't quite have the same abilities as Spider-Man. He's not a web shooter and all that stuff. Find out he's a little bit creepier than that. And we found out why, because there's kind of a Island of Dr. Moreau thing going with this gal. She's taking animals and humans and crossing them over, mixing them up, making new characters, and she finds out that, well, this character looks like something of mine, and we end up going into the back history of Spider-Boy. I don't want to ruin it, but you find out that he's a whole different style Spider-Boy than you're thinking. He's not quite the Spider-Man Spider-Boy that we know from the days of old. This one's got some interesting extra abilities, and I don't know. That's October 2024, huh? The new in Spider-Boy number 12, it looks like Spider-Girl's getting introduced. So I have to pick that one up, see what she's got for abilities. I definitely want to know about Kid Deadpool. I mean, they're making some fun characters that are actually sucking me in now. We got Spider-Man, Black Suit and Blood. This is, again, a few different stories. Neighborhood Watch is the first one by Justina Ireland, Netho Diaz, Cam Smith, and Rachel Rosenberg, where you kind of got Spidey just kind of keeping an eye on things, and he gets a little out of hand when he's dealing with someone, and you definitely see the symbiote version of him. People are sitting there like, you're Spider-Man? So you're not the red and blue Spider-Man. So in all these stories, you're pretty much getting to see the symbiote side of him kind of take over on this. We got Whatever Happened to Master Blood, which is Alec Ewing, Juan Cabal, and Edgar Delgado. This character evil character that, oh yeah, the first story also features Tombstone in it, which I haven't read anything from him in a long time. But this next story, Master Blood, we get introduced to this character. Kind of has like a Star Wars feel to him, with the cape, the weird eyes, helmet, all that stuff. Uh, but he actually looked kind of fun. I would have liked to have known more of him, but I don't know if he has a past history in any writings or what. So I'm gonna have to look it up. But yeah, you get to see how our symbiote Spider-Man deals with him, and he again gets a little out of hand, goes off the rails a little bit. Then from Leonardo Romero and VC's Joe Caramagna, and the rest are cover artists and stuff. We get Cornerstone, which takes us into a Spider-Man Mysterio battle, and kind of takes him down through like the sewers into that area, and we get to see why Spider's going after him and what's going on and what's up with the symbiote and how he's trying to control the symbiote also. But yeah, these are interesting stories. This one I didn't care for as much as the first two, but starting to see the angrier side of the symbiote, which not too fond of. I'd rather have the regular Spidey out there, just like a lot of the people in there would. And then the third trick or read that I picked up was Star Wars Kylo Ren, Age of Resistance. You know me, I hate Kylo Ren, so I'm kind of surprised I picked it up, but I figured what the heck. Freebie, see what it's up to, and the Star Wars stories are usually pretty decent, but this is Out of the Shadow. The son of smuggler Han Solo and Princess Leia Organa, Ben Solo was once one of the most promising of the new generation of Jedi. That is until his uncle, Jedi Master Luke Skywalker, sensed the dark side in Ben. Since then, Ben has abandoned the ways of the Jedi. As Kylo Ren of the villainous First Order, he now walks a dark path. But yeah, we get to see a commander that's been around surviving all the battles somehow and still around, so he becomes Kylo's right-hand man for now until he gets sick of him or whatever. And they decide to go back to a battle that Darth Vader lost and apparently died on the field of battle during, but you get to see the Vader version, you get to see the Kylo version, the Vader versions in blue, Kylo Ren's versions up above, but you get to see what happened, what crossed over with why they're back there, what happened to Vader. You get to learn all that history in here. You get to see who the beasts are that they're dealing with. It's kind of like our Yeti style Hoth character, kind of those style creatures. And Kylo Ren's like not putting up with anything, and they take a chance at taking out Kylo Ren, and you get to see what happens with the big battle in here. But it was alright. I didn't mind it, but I still hate Kylo Ren. Don't know what it is about him. And then we got Vampires the Eternal. This I feel like I read, but then I looked at my CLZ and I don't have it, but I have Vampires something. It's like Vampires the outcast or something like that. But in here we find out that there's a vampire. He's playing around with his girlfriend out in the woods. And they're just goofing around, having some fun, getting ready to get it on. And she's not a vampire, he is. But a certain vampire shows up and causes some problems in here with the couple. Some things happen to them, the girl, and we get a back history. And we find out, we go back to the plague and stuff, and find out how this girl came to be. And that's the story I remember. So I think the one I read was her vampining, vampining, or whatever you want to call it. How she got turned and all that stuff was in the first story I read a while back and talked about. But yeah, this takes us into where she's trying to take control of Earth and trying to get some of the elder vampires to work with her. I feel like this is kind of an in-between story because I feel like the one I read had the history part and then jumped to things that happen after she tries to get them to work together with her. And here you pretty much get the history part and then it goes to where she's starting to get them to come out of the woodwork and maybe work with her. But I don't know. It's kind of strange. I'd like to find the other one and in my collection and find out year-wise and date-wise how they are laid out. The last one we got for today is Wonder Woman Day Special Edition, which I don't know when Wonder Woman Day is, and I didn't know that was even a thing. I know there's Batman Day. We celebrate that every year, but this features the first chapter of the Wonder Woman The Lies graphic novel. It's all right. She's basically it's done by Greg Rucka, Liam Sharp, Laura Martin, and Jodie Wine, or Wynn. But she's on an island or somewhere, an Amazon type thing, and she's searching for someone. And while she does, there's some tribal characters that are showing up around her. At the same time, we got some mercenaries, the military group or something going on that they're doing their own special ops. It so happens to have Steve Rogers is running that crew of mercenaries, and he may or may not have leaked some information to Wonder Woman to get her there. But yeah, we find her coming across an ancient tomb type thing. It's interesting characters that start stalking her and going after her while she's calling out for the being that she's after, and she's warning them that, hey, if you're gonna bring it on, you better bring it on, but you're gonna get your butts whooped if you mess with Wonder Woman. But yeah, there's an awesome picture there. I wish that would have been a solid one-page splash. Just not having the other scenes in that page. But yeah, there's some interesting things, and I don't want to give away who it is, but there's a character that Wonder Woman fans will know happens to be part of this whole thing. But yeah, that was alright for Wonder Woman Day. I just don't know when that was, but not a huge fan of Wonder Woman comics, but every time I read one, I usually enjoy it. Other than that, that's it for today. So keep following Under the Cowl of MS. Rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend. Check out our Crimson Cowl Comic Club episodes. And I will get back more stuff soon. So keep following us. Take care. Bye.